Hello and welcome back to Helldivers 2. So, we have a new Warbond, the Chemical Agents Warbond specifically. I'm a little late on this kind of review of it, but it took a while to get it actually finished, and I'll explain why later on. But, let's just jump right into it. Starting off with the armor of this Warbond, we have the AF-50 Noxious Ranger. It's a light armor set with the Advanced Filtration perk, which gives 80% gas resistance, and it reduces the effect of gas. I personally don't know. I don't run into gas. Simple as that. Then there's the medium armor, the AF-02 Hazmaster. Same thing. Filtration, it's an okay set, but I think the armors fall into the same trap that previous armor sets like the Draconaut set and the Arc Resist set all fall into. They're okay, but unless your whole team is running just a ton of certain types of weapons, you're not going to run into it. You're not going to sit down and be like, oh man, I need to watch out for gas damage. Because odds are, you're not getting it. If you look at gas, there's 3 ways you can take damage from it. The gas strike, which you're likely not running into it, and really the only time is if you have the marker in your hand and you get ragdolled. But you're usually going to run away anyways. That, one of the weapons we're going to go over, and actually the other weapon we're going to go over, the grenade. So the armor's not that great. The helmet for the Noxious Ranger, though, big style points. Cool skull, pretty cool. I'm not going to really trash talk it. But then we have our only actual wieldable weapon, which isn't really a weapon. The P11 Stim Pistol. As we see, I have it right here. I'll try to shoot our friendly here with it. I found the hit detection to be a little off at times. Hey, we got him, cool. I love that. I say I have problems hitting people, and then the second I do it, lands perfectly. But it's an interesting weapon. I have to give credit where credit is due. It is the first actual support item. So I have to admit it's really cool. I'm very happy to see that. Let me just... see. They need to up the projectile speed on it. It's really slow, so it makes trying to get anything done with it just agonizing. But the neat part with it is it actually it'll heal, and if you have the experimental booster effect on, you get that boost. So you get the visual kind of blur, the whole 9 yards. So, hey, he didn't fall in the hole. Cool. It's a pretty cool weapon. I'm happy with it. It's just, if you have that, make sure you have a good primary. As much as I love the Eruptor, it's kind of a risky move to pull that, just because your odds are going to end up fighting things at close range and you'll end up shooting yourself and getting ragdolled or explode, which is why I'm using the Blitzer here. It's not the greatest gun, but it has that medium armor pen, and that's kind of my personal prerequisite for a primary weapon. But our only other standard weapon is actually the G4 gas grenade, which we also have equipped. I actually really like this. I think this is a really fun grenade. It has a lot of utility. You can use it against bots, you can use it against bugs. It cannot blow open any, I mean, it just can't blow open anything. So you have to kind of keep that in mind. It's good for shutting off approaches, because if you haven't read up on the new gas effect, it isn't just a damage over time debuff anymore. The dot is now weaker, but we do have some disruption abilities. Come on, let me hug this man. But it has disruption. It's crowd control mostly, which for the grenade I think is great. It'll make enemies freak out and start attacking each other, or they'll just kind of wander off. It's better against bugs, I will say that, because odds are if you're actually landing your hits, or you're landing these grenades right, more bugs are going to hit each other, because there's usually a lot of bugs in any grouping, as opposed to whipping it at automatons, where you might, if you land it right, you might land it among a bunch of guys, but odds are you're probably not going to get the best effect out of it. It's a gamble, but definitely an anti-bug weapon. The interesting thing is we actually do have, if you've followed the controversy around this Warbond, 2 additional quote-unquote weapons. They're stratagems. One, as you can see I have here, that is the AXTX13 Guard Dog Breath. It's honestly pretty good. Good crowd control, good general distraction. It's not good against automatons. Do not use this against automatons. They're not getting close enough to justify its use. What it is good for, though, is against bugs. Bugs, this thing, as we've seen, it will hunt down dudes. And I am very happy with that. That was my big concern with this thing, was if it was going to be aggressive enough, and it is aggressive enough, and as an added bonus, I've never seen it actually team kill. To me, that is a huge plus, because I'm so accustomed to dealing with the normal laser guard dog that if you turn wrong or any enemy looks at you weird, your drone just whips around, slices your arm off, kills your team, and then you're left just sitting there going, well, this sucks. This thing is just really good. Oh, my barrage bounced. I didn't want that to go there, but whatever. In the meantime, we'll actually just start whipping some gas and you can see its effects. I feel like the Joker whipping Smilex bombs at these guys. Oh, soccer. Fun. But we have our final, I guess, stratagem would be it. The TX41 Sterilizer. I'm not using it. It's terrible. What it is, by and large, it's a flamethrower. New model, so I can't complain like, oh, it's no effort. No, it's a new model, new effect, all that. It's just a poison gas one. and it feeds into a problem. It has the same range. I did not mean to pick that up. It has the same range as a normal flamethrower. So riddle me this, Batman. Why use a crowd control weapon when you can just use a killy weapon? And I used it on a tier 3 mission. So that tells you the difficulty. Tier 3, I was struggling. It is a absolutely horrendous weapon. It really needed to be more of a proper, like, acid damage. As much as people may not like that, it needed to be something stronger. As of now, it underperforms in, I would say, every metric possible. And that's just not fun. Nobody likes underperforming weapons. Which, unrelated to the Warbond, but related to recent events, a lot of weapons got buffed. So if there's anything you were kind of iffy on, take a look at it again. It's probably been reworked. But all in all, that's really what this Warbond had to offer. It isn't the greatest Warbond. Oh, there was also... Gotta remember to include it. Our favorite thing. Skins. The mustard yellow, Hellpod, dropship, and mech skins. It's the same problem I had before. They're really bland. I just can't for the life of me look at them and go, oh yeah, this is totally worth. I see the skins and I just kind of groan. The Viper Commandos, Warbond is still the best for having a skin that isn't just a color. I don't know what to tell you. Oh, something also I forgot to mention, that seeing the drone actually rearm. It is an infinite ammo drone, which once again makes the normal machine gun drone look terrible. But yeah, this Warbond, it's a very weak Warbond, and it only gets worse the more you look at it, because, like I said at the beginning, it took me a while to complete this Warbond. Normally I record this after just getting the weapons. I don't care about the emotes, I don't care about any of the other really unnecessary crap that you don't care about, I don't care about, they're just filler. But I wanted to get it all done because as I was going through, it felt really weird. Because I was looking at some of the prices, and on the last page, what was it? I have it written down. The guard dog was 110 medals. And I was like, man, 110, that's really steep. And then there was an emote that was 70. And so I'm looking at these just going, God, what is wrong with this pricing? And as I was going through, I just felt like I was getting very little done. So I decided to look at it all, and I did the math. This Warbond was 759 medals.
Engaging terminal.
For 100% completion. That is the most expensive Warbond we've had in the game. And for what you get, it's really, really bad. Because the next most expensive was Democratic Detonation at $699. which gave us 3 armor sets, 3 original design primaries, a secondary, a grenade, and a booster. And all we got for this was 1 gun.
I got the terminal.
The cheapest one was actually our last Warbond, Freedom's Flame, with 2 armor sets, 2 primaries, 1 reskin, 1 original design, a secondary, and a booster.
Rare sample acquired.
So all in all, it felt... I'm actually going to follow this guy. All in all, it felt really, really weak. And I know people got really up in arms over these stratagems being locked behind a paywall. Which, I mean, I haven't paid for a single Warbond, I just play the game and get them. But they're not really something I'm telling you, like, oh, you have to get these. These are mandatory content. They're just nice additions. But for what we're given, it feels really bad. And I will be fair to the devs. You know, I can't sit here and give them a ton of flack, because gas as your theme is a very difficult theme to work around. Because what do? Do you do a normal gas flamethrower like the Flam 66? Well, that's just a reskin of our last Warbond's weapon. So you're going to get a ton of flack for that. Same as the Crisper, the pistol version. They work as gas weapons, but you are going to get grilled, no pun intended, for doing that. And I understand that. Your other options are what? A gas grenade pistol? Well, that's just a reskin of the grenade pistol. Gas itself is rough. If this was acid, which I also have to stress, this is different than acid, which I think might be an issue later down the line, depending on how some of these boosters affect things. But acid would have been a better start, because then you could at least do, like, a weapon that can charge and lob a grenade or a blob of acid that splatters and deals damage over time. But gas is limited. You have only a few ways you can really represent it in a game without it coming off as really strange. So I think the devs did what they could. It's just... No, that's not the right way. Oh, cool, we actually got it. Nice. But it's not the best. You could do like a... Once again, it's a reskin. That's going to be a big problem we face, is like a crossbow. And it could have a smaller blast, but it leaves a lingering gas cloud. It'd be cool, gives you a little bit of on-hit damage, and then the effect. But we're in a weird spot with this Warbond, and I think charging as much as they did was a really bad idea. At least in terms of metals. 60 more than the next highest. That is... Oof. Which, all things considered, I would put this probably as one of the lowest Warbonds. I would consider it one of the worst. The viability, yes, gas works on everything, but the realistic viability of these weapons is very low. Like, if you see someone using the sterilizer, first off, you're in a bad time. You're gonna have a bad time. And if it's against automatons, that person is clinically insane. I don't care shield backpack or not. You are jumping into a bad fight. I have to say though, really, the saving grace is the combination of the pistol and the gas grenade. Outside of that, I'd honestly say you could skip everything. I wouldn't advise skipping it if you have nothing else to do, simply because you might as well just get it all done, and paying like $10, 1,000 super credits, however you want to view it, paying that much money for just 2 items, that feels like an even bigger ripoff than anything else.
Requesting orbital strike.
But yeah, that's the Chemical Agents Warbond. Let me know what you guys think of it, because it's a rough one. It's the best way to really describe it. If you guys have had better performance with some of this stuff, let me know. I just don't think there's a lot of utility for the sterilizer. Yeah, that's about it. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay for this mission.
Heavy west, 50 meters.
Extraction is available.
Orbital inbound. Have a taste of democracy. Sending in an eagle. Calling in reinforcements.
Request approved. Reinforcements on the way.
How'd you like the taste of freedom? Have a taste of democracy! Bug tunnel free! Get some! Get some!
Outpost cleared.
Tagging map, south, 300 meters.
Calling in orbital strike! Not today! Dropping a pin. North. Close. Throwing supply beacon!
Roger. Pelican 1 will re-attempt pickup at extraction zone. ETA T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Throwing grenade!
takeoff. Extraction complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
And that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button, it helps out the channel a lot, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.